Alright, picture this at 6 a.m. on a foggy Tuesday, the kind of morning where the world feels soft and quiet, and I'm standing on my porch, coffee in hand, watching some guy in a cheap polo shirt hack through my water line with a reciprocating saw. Sparks are flying, metal's screaming, and there's this woman in a blazer clipboard in one hand, phone in the other filming the whole thing like she's directing a low-budget action flick. That's when I knew Margaret Hensley, the queen bee of our HOA, had just kicked a hornet's nest she didn't even see coming. My name's Tom Hargrove, spent 35 years engineering water systems for Maple County, and all I wanted was to retire in my little lakeside cabin, sip coffee, listen to the loons, and feel my late wife Ellen's presence in the breeze. But Margaret? Oh, she had other plans, thought my weathered cedar shack was dragging down her perfect little gated community, Pineview Shores. Big mistake, lady, because every drop of water flowing into her fancy $900,000 lake house. Yeah, it runs through pipes I legally own. Let me rewind a bit, set the scene for you. 3 months earlier, I'm living the dream well, my version of it. Every morning, I'd wander down to my dock, boots crunching on gravel, the air smelling like pine and fresh water. This cabin, built back in '62, was where Ellen and I spent our last anniversary. She loved the way the mist curled off the lake at dawn, the way the loons sang like they were calling her home. When cancer took her 2 years ago, I spread her ashes right there off the dock, promising I'd keep this place as our sanctuary. I'd earned that peace, 35 years of designing pipelines, fixing leaks, balancing water pressure for half the county. I figured I could just fade into the quiet. Then Margaret Hensley rolled in like a storm cloud in heels. Picture the most insufferable neighbor you've ever had. Then give her a law degree, a white Lexus she parks across 3 spaces, and a clipboard she wields like it's Excalibur. Margaret's been running the Pineview Shores HOA for a decade, turning it into her personal empire. The board? Bunch of yes-men who nod like bobbleheads at her every whim. First time I saw her in action was at a neighborhood cookout. Some guy's kid left a bike on the lawn, honest mistake, right? Margaret storms over, clipboard out, and slaps him with a $200 fine for visual clutter. I should have known I was next. It all kicked off at my first HOA meeting. Thought I'd be a good neighbor, show my face. Worst decision of my retirement. The second I walk in, Margaret's eyes lock on me like a hawk spotting a mouse. "Oh, you must be the fellow with the quaint cabin," she says, her voice dripping with that fake southern charm that hides a knife. Quaint. She said it like my home was a health hazard. The meeting's a circus, 30 minutes on mailbox colors, another 20 on unapproved birdhouses. Then she drops her bombshell. We're addressing water usage violations. She pulls out a folder thicker than a phone book, claiming my private well, is draining the community aquifer. Some residents, she says, staring right at me, are exploiting lake access and grandfathered wells, endangering our water supply. Now, I've been in water management long enough to smell bull from a mile away. Developers slap these vague HOA rules together without checking actual property law. My cabin, built 20 years before this HOA even existed. Grandfathered properties like mine aren't bound by their covenants, it's basic legal fact. But before I can open my mouth, she's already moved on, steamrolling the room. 2 weeks later, a certified letter shows up for $1,000 in fines for excessive water use, plus a demand to install monitoring equipment or lose my water. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about water. This was about control, about Margaret forcing out anyone who didn't fit her vision of Pineview perfection. I'm not one for drama, but you don't spend 35 years in public works without learning how to handle a bully. So I start digging. Spend a day at the county records office, flipping through dusty property deeds and HOA filings. And there it is, like finding gold in a creek bed. My cabin's 1962 deed includes an easement giving me perpetual control over the main water line, serving all 50 homes in Pineview Shores. Back when this lake was just cabins and dirt roads, the county ran the water line right through my land, cheapest route. That easement, it's ironclad, giving me legal authority over maintenance, access, even emergency shutoffs. Margaret's been threatening to cut my water, but I'm the one holding the keys to her whole neighborhood's plumbing. Her next move comes fast. I'm out on my dock one morning, coffee steaming, when 3 trucks roll up, diesel engines loud enough to scare the fish. Margaret steps out of her Lexus, flanked by two water compliance inspectors who look like they barely know which end of a wrench to hold. Mr. Hargrove, she calls, all fake smiles. We're installing flow meters on your well. HOA covenant grants us access. I sip my coffee, lean against the railing. You got a warrant, Margaret? She waves a laminated paper. This woman laminates everything claiming it's legal. Spoiler, it's not. I let them fumble with my equipment for an hour, mostly because it's hilarious watching them try to figure out my pressure tank. My neighbor, Clara Jenkins, shuffles over with her thermos, whispering, she did this to the Millers years ago, hounded them till they sold. She's got a playbook. That's when I know this is bigger than me. Margaret's been running this scam for years, targeting anyone whose house doesn't scream country club. I fire back with a letter, polite, professional, citing every statute and case law I could find. Hand deliver it to every HOA board member, the county water office, even Margaret's law firm. Certified mail, return receipt, the works. Her response? She goes nuclear. While I'm away visiting my sister, she calls an emergency HOA meeting, paints me as some eco-villain stealing water from honest families. Clara calls me, voice low. Tom, she's got flyers with your picture, saying you're drying up the lake. By the time I get back, half the neighborhood's buying her story. But she's made a mistake scheduling that meeting when I'm back in town. Thursday night, I walk into the community center, laptop under my arm, looking like a tired old man. The place is packed, 70 people, biggest turnout ever. Margaret's up front, dressed like she's auditioning for a courtroom drama, preaching about protecting our children's water. She's got her supporters nodding, new residents eating it up. I wait till she's mid-sentence, then clear my throat. Mind if I add a little context? Her face goes white. I set up my projector, pull up county aquifer data, 35 years of stable water levels. Margaret says I'm stealing water. I say, clicking to a geological survey. But my well taps a different aquifer. Basic science. The room's starting to shift. People are whispering. Then I drop the hammer. Oh, and one more thing, anyone check who controls the water line you're all connected to? I unfold a survey map, point to my property. This line, serving every house here, runs through my land. I've got legal easement rights, maintenance, access, shutoffs. Been that way since '62. You could have heard a mosquito buzz. Margaret stammers, that's absurd. HOA rules override that. But Clara stands up, voice like steel. You ran my friends out with the same lies, Margaret. Then Mike Torres, a vet with a service dog she tried to ban, holds up a folder. 5 years of her harassment, documented. The Hendersons chime in about fines for their rose garden. It's chaos, her own supporters are turning. Then Sarah Miles from the county water office steps in, calm as a lake at dawn. Tom's right. His easement predates your HOA. He controls the infrastructure. Margaret's shaking now, tries a last-ditch attack. He's unstable, grieving his wife, a danger to us all. That's when the room turns cold. You don't drag Ellen's memory into this. I lean forward, voice steady. Margaret, you've bullied this neighborhood for years, but you picked the wrong fight. I could shut off your water tomorrow legally, but I won't. Because unlike you, I don't abuse power. The place erupts applause, shouts, even her allies clapping. Margaret resigns that week, moves away after her husband's transfer. The new HOA, led by Clara, sets rules that actually help people. I use my easement to upgrade the water system, saving everyone money, and start a scholarship in Ellen's name for local kids studying environmental science. Pineview's a real community now, potlucks, dock cleanups, no more clipboard tyrants. So what's your take? Ever dealt with an HOA bully like Margaret? Drop a comment. Tell me your story, we've all got one. And if you think justice tastes sweet, hit that like button, subscribe for more tales of neighborhood chaos. Next week, I'm diving into the time my neighbor tried to claim my shed was on his land. Trust me, it's wilder than this. Stay tuned.